Hey guys, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about severe weather. So we're just going to break down very simple terms. We're not going to go into in depth. You'll be doing that later in another exploration. So, first of all, severe weather, what is it? Let's review the definition. It's a set of atmospheric conditions that can injure or kill people or cause major property damage. So, unlike our regular weather, which is just a set of atmospheric conditions, severe weather is defined by the fact that it causes damage, whether to property or people. And notice that I underline atmospheric conditions. It's something that happens in the atmosphere of Earth. So we'll talk about non-examples later as well. Our first example of severe weather is a thunderstorm. A thunderstorm is when you have a storm that has thunder and lightning, and also it's going to have usually very heavy rain or hail. Thunderstorms can lead to floods. They can potentially also lead to wildfires if that lightning strikes an area that is particularly has been dry for a long time. It could lead to a wildfire, or most commonly, it'll lead to flooding as well. So this is your first and usually most common type of severe weather, especially here in Virginia. This is one that we would see a lot. A tornado is another type of severe weather. This is a rotating column of air that stretches from the clouds of a thunderstorm down to the ground. It has to hit the ground to be considered a tornado. Before that, you would call it a supercell, or that's what storm chasers and meteorologists would call it. But then once it hits the ground, it is classified as a tornado. And remember, there are 5 different levels of tornadoes, which is determined by the wind speed and the size of the tornado. So that's tornado. Hurricanes. Hurricanes are basically like tornadoes, but they form over the oceans instead of land. So it's a large rotating storm. We'll talk more about causes and things later in another exploration. But it's basically a storm that forms over the ocean. It forms over warm ocean waters in tropical areas. And then it can reach land as it grows, but it forms over the ocean. And that's its like defining characteristic. Hurricanes can also lead to major flooding as well. A blizzard. Okay, I really like this picture because it basically meets the definition, which is a snowstorm with high winds and low visibility. If you notice in this picture, there actually is a person there, but you can barely see them because of the low visibility. I could just have put a picture of just all white, and that could have been a blizzard because a lot of times you can't really see anything. So this is a storm that has to have low temperatures, right? In order to be a snowstorm, that precipitation needs to freeze and you need to have snow. There also needs to be very high winds. Blizzards are going to be very common in areas of high altitude and areas that are more northern, in the northern hemisphere at least. Drought. Drought is not one that we think of all of the time with severe weather, but it is considered severe weather because it is the lack of precipitation that defines a drought. It's a long period of very low rainfall, leading to a shortage of water. So when you don't have rain for a very, very long time, the area is going to become dry. Now, drought can also lead to wildfires as well. In areas, so it can lead to wildfires. I didn't put wildfires as an actual severe weather because that is something that can be caused by severe weather. Some examples that you did not see here are going to be earthquakes. Earthquakes are not considered severe weather because they do not happen in the atmosphere. Now, they do cause they can cause injury, they can harm people, they can cause property damage, but they don't happen in the atmosphere. That's actually something happening within inside the earth. It's the tectonic plate movement that's going to cause the earthquake. Another one is volcanoes. Volcanic eruptions are not severe weather. Tsunamis are actually not severe weather because that's basically just an earthquake happening starting in the ocean, and then it can reach land and cause this huge tidal wave to reach land. But again, it's not caused by anything in the atmosphere, any atmospheric conditions. So now that you have an overview of all of these different types of severe weather, you hopefully are ready to start thinking of some good interview questions for your next part of this exploration.